Hello, this is Right Side Trader. Today is May 2nd, 2025, and this is my weekly market review where I'm reviewing the Russell 2000, that's IWM, on a quarterly chart, monthly chart, weekly chart, and a daily chart. This is all for educational purposes only, no trade recommendation, because as we all know, trading is risky. You can lose money at trading, so please check with your financial advisor. Please check with your significant other and make sure trading is something that is suitable for you. All right, let's jump over here to these charts and see what we see. Let's maximize this chart and resize this. And what we see on the Russell, the Russell is the tough one. On this quarterly chart, at least we got a green doji here right now. That's the starting of a morning star. Not quite in the wrong location. This thing flip-flopping on us. Again, the Russell came down, where we expect. It's in this little area right now where it's fighting at. And the question is with the Russell, will the Russell end up somewhere here going sideways, or will it continue tracking to the upside? Right now, it being at closing at 200, we can look at the Russell coming to 210 or 220. Right, this is pivot also on these yearly, quarterly pivot, looking at a big time frame here. It's all according with the time frame you're trading, the longer time frame, that we may be under this for the rest of this quarter. This is yearly pivot, but I'm looking at the quarter being below 220. But let's go down to the monthly chart where you can see what I'm talking about a little bit better. And let's do that. Wow. And see what we see there. On this monthly chart, zoom, 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 zoom. See, the thing is on the Russell, and let me clear that up. On the Russell, we are still quite a bit below the 9-10 moving average and all. We have a long ways to move to get back up here to this level here. That's why I'm saying coming up here, because once it does get here, this can act as resistance. I got this little zone right here that I think can act as resistance that I was looking to be support, and it didn't act as real strong support. It touched it once and bounced out of that area. The next time it came through here, it just came through there like it was butter and all. So again, we got a piercing pattern right here right now. This is just the first couple of days of the month, but this is looking very bullish. But on the Russell, don't expect it to go nowhere too fast. We'll probably start getting some of these smaller candles with this thing trying to move up and all before we get one of these big candles moving up. We're going to have to get some crazy news to get a nice good move like this, what we've been seeing when the Russell starts turning around and want to go up. I think we're going to be more in this type of area on the Russell right here come these next few weeks. That's usually after a big move. But we had a big move down, but now I think with the big move down and coming back up, we're going to get some little smaller candles before we actually make a big approach of actually getting too much higher than where we're at right now. But let's go ahead and go down to the weekly chart and see what we see there. Change this arrow back up. On this weekly chart, we've been having some strong weeks on the Russell. One trader that I trade with and all, they've been swinging pretty nicely, been doing pretty good, to the upside and all. Again, the Russell came down to an area where we do kind of expect it to go up. And like I say, I still see it going up easily another $10 and all. It can get back up into this area right here again, but it's just like this is the 200 on this one right here, where the other ones were at the 50, where it can have a tough time, and it stopped right. This one, look, the Russell. This, you can barely see this red line right here. This red line over here, it ended up closing above that. So that's the 200 that it closed above. So again, the Russell looks like it's fairly strong, where it will get up here to around that 210, and to show you that these 50 and the 200. Moving averages that everybody should, a lot of technical traders and all, they use those numbers there. So again, I don't mind showing that or putting that on my chart, and let's just kind of like see how the market is trading around those numbers. That's the whole thing, But right now we can see it stopped at a location where we kind of expect it to stop. This line here, this area here, just above the 200. So no big surprise there. So that's why, again, I don't know how it's going to play once it gets to this 50 line and this area right here. That's going to be the key. And if it can get above that, we might get where we can start trying to break these highs. Other than that, we might just be working on getting ready to come up just a little bit higher and then work on another leg to the downside. So be careful, be careful, be careful. But this is weeks. This has been a month doing this right here. So we got maybe another week or two before we can come down. Right now, the way some people like drawing trend lines, we still quite haven't reversed trends yet on the Russell, the way some people may be looking at it. But I would be very careful, that we may, since we closed above the 200, be careful. And I'll just follow your trading plan, your trading strategies, and the indicators that you actually use to keep you in your trades or out of your trades when you should be. Follow your plan. That's all I can say. All right, pretty much that. Let's go ahead and go down to the daily chart and see what we see there and wrap this on up. Change my arrow back. On this daily chart, I don't know, a lot of green. See, that's the thing with the Russell. That's the whole thing we're seeing on the big picture. The Russell, a lot of green. And this past couple of weeks, the Russell has been acting like it wants to go higher. So that's why I'm kind of bullish on the Russell. I can see it, but what's going to happen when it gets up here to the supply where it's sold off at? That's why I can see it going a little bit higher. And that 200 going to 210, that $10 range that I usually like doing, I can see it, but will it break it? That's the question. Other than that, that's pretty much it. We got to just pay attention to what you're doing. If you've been long, it's time maybe to tighten up your stops. Whatever your trading plan and your trading strategy tell you to do at this time if you're long. And if you're short, wait for your signal to go short, at that time. And that's it. That's all I really want to share here on the Russell at this time. Hope you guys had a great week. Hope you guys have a great weekend. And I'll talk to you next week. Have a good one. Bye.